went up for a couple of weeks and watched him film, and they kind of gave me a heads up of what I was walking into. The things that threw me were when I first got there, Dennis Quaid had just started shooting his parts, and I walked in and he's wearing this old, like, my dad was a blue collar worker, and he was wearing this old, like, like a city worker would work, and it had Millard on the name tag, and it's a scene where he's told that he has cancer, and I sit down in like the little director's chair and I'm watching, and this is the part I didn't know about. And as soon as they told him, man, it really messed me up because seeing how he was very respectful and asked me a ton of questions about my dad, and just to see him kind of act that out and his reaction, because he's a great actor, of being told he has cancer and him denying it and stuff. There's several of those scenes to where I was so focused on, okay, this is the abuse scene. It was hard on me. I'm ready. But it's the little tiny scenes of like that and just little things that I was like one of the biggest ones in that fight, that scene where he hits the plate over my head. The scene we kind of get up and we kind of go toe to toe for a second. I'm in high school at the time. And then I storm out of the house. And that really did happen. But they kept the camera rolling. And so this whole scene after I leave is Dennis standing there and as my dad, and he's like in tears. He's trying to clean up the mess and he's mad at himself because he can't control his temper. And I remember sitting there going, it's never crossed my mind what my dad could have done after I left the room.
Wow, yeah.
And so I'm watching him, and man, I fell apart because there's so much more I know and understand now. And also my dad came to know Christ and was a totally different man when he passed away. And so to look back on this at all and to see, after he left, to see him breaking down and possibly be in tears because of what he'd done, I was sitting there and like there's, when you're filming, you'd be in a living room of a house, and just around the corner of the living room, there's 50 people hiding, waiting for them to say cut. So you're watching a monitor. When they say cut, they just take off like ants and reset everything. So I'm sitting there, we're all crammed in kind of like this watching it, and they keep rolling, and he's acting it out. He finally gets to the point where they yell cut, and everybody just takes off like it's no big deal. And I'm sitting there like, I'm like in tears, trying not to ruin the scene, make any noise. And Dennis would always immediately look at me when a scene was over to make sure that I was cool with it. And he came over to me, he's like, you okay? And I was like, dude, this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened in my life. And I was like, but I got to thank you because I've never thought of what my dad could have done after I left. I know it's weird and we're pretending. I don't even know why I'm acting like this. And he's like, nah, dude, that's cool. And it was really, really surreal. I think I hope it's a good movie. You never know until it's done, but it's pretty intense.